Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. I'm your host Marcus, and we got a crazy episode of more violence and madness and World Eater content. So just in case you thought we were done, no, I'm sneaking another episode of World Eaters in here. So who do we got? We got three people joining. Jordan, hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing good. I've just been inspired doing these Angron and World Eater episodes. I love the one that we did with James there. It's tight.
That was fun. It was good.
Yeah. We also got Gerald. Hey.
Hello. Good evening. And I also got a guest with me too.
That's the girlfriend you were talking about, eh? Very nice.
I hope not.
Well, yeah, you could definitely
friends with benefits.
There we go.
Keep it casual. And we also got Fuzz joining us. Hey, welcome.
Thank you. I'm very angry to be here tonight.
yeah, you are. Yeah, we got World Eaters. One final go around for them. Give you my little teaser sentence before we do housekeeping. We'll get into it. So my teaser sentence is nightly World Eaters. So honor, ritual, and duels. So that's kind of the vibe I'm going with this homebrew lore. But before we dive in, quick housekeeping. Come join the Discord.
Yeah, we've got a wonderful Discord. There's a little something for everyone. If you like games, we've got a games channel. If you want to show off your models, there's works in progress. If you want to chat lore, there's lore channels. Just want to hang out and share some memes, we got that too. Pretty active. Lots of people to hang out and talk with throughout the day.
Yeah, like if you're working and you're bored, like you just hop on the Discord and go make a meme or something. It's a good time. Kill a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I'm loving a lot of the crossover memes. They're hilarious. But hey, if you like what you see and you want to support the show, join the Patreon is always a big plus. And for as little as $2.50, you can get ad-free versions on Spotify, because we all hate ads, especially when they pop up at like the worst possible time. Like right when we're transitioning to like a new subject, and boom, ad.
Yeah, it's just more motivation to get the ad-free version. I intentionally placed it at the most annoying spot just to really sucker people in.
Right in the middle of a conversation. Don't even put it in a transition. Put it like mid-sentence. Someone's talking.
Absolutely.
It has happened. It has happened.
I've listened to that happen on this and other podcasts too. Yeah.
And then there was one where it was only like a 2-minute video because you were trying to announce something. I kid you not, there were like 4 or 5 ads in a 2-minute time space. Yeah.
Oh, that's tight.
If you like me and don't like ads, just pay the $2.50. That's it. There we go.
And yeah, he's saying honestly made me join the Patreon. Yeah. So
good one right there. Yeah. But what do you get if you pay $5? Well, that gets you access to all of this right here. You get to join the chat and see our lovely faces, and I'll hand the rest over to Jordan.
Yeah, so if you're a Patreon, you can join the live stream and join me for some whiskey and Warhammer. We're doing a little bit of Canadian rye tonight, and nice. Of course we occasionally do call in guests at the end of the episodes. And if you are a member, you will have access to that if you so choose.
Nice. One of my Airbnb guests, they made me a rum and lemonade, and it was fucking fantastic. You ever try such a thing? Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big fan of rum, but I would try it. I'd try it.
Sure. Cool. Well, let's dive in chain blades first into this episode. The quick little outline is we'll do an overview, cover their brief history. They don't care too much. Like, they care about their history, but it's basically we killed here, we killed there, we won here. So we'll get into that. We'll dive into the organization, their 4 orders of battle, some ranks and squads, how big this warband is, then colors and heraldry, including their kill cloth, which, what the fuck, we'll get into that soon. Combat doctrine, there's 8 codes of slaughter that they all follow, and 8 litanies and chants of war that they like to repeat and really just solidify their unifying force or whatever the fuck. Cultures and rituals, they worship Khorne, and we'll get into if they like corruption, mutation, demons, some ceremonies and rites and all that. Muster point, where are they from? What do they get up to? How do they recruit? That kind of stuff. Armory, favorite artifacts, you know the drill with armory. There's weapons and war gear. Members, I'm not naming all 88 plus of them, but I got a couple characters that are worth mentioning. known battles, and and a conversion corner. I'm excited for the conversion corner. This is actually an army that I have started to actually collect. I've made some purchases. I've rummaged through my bits box here. I even have a model in front of me right now. I got pictures and stuff, but you won't even really be able to see this guy. But yeah, so I'm currently working on that. So on the conversion corner, we'll kind of go through how to make this army. So let's get going.
Yeah, so an overview of the Knights of Slaughter. They are a warband of the World Eaters who blend ritualized knightly honor with the unstoppable fury of Khorne. Having fought alongside the Dark Angels in the Great Crusade, they adopted heraldry, oaths, and ritual duels, yet every vow and challenge is driven by the butcher's nails. From Juggernaut-mounted World Crusher Knights to oathbound foot warriors, they charge, clash, shoot, and kill with purpose, marking each victory with skulls and blood and heraldic symbols. Disciplined, ritualistic, and utterly lethal, the Knights of Slaughter are both ceremonial knights and berserkers of the blood god, a warband where honor and slaughter are one. And the battle cry of Knights of Slaughter is, "By blade and bolter!"
Yeah. So I love the kind of duality of this, the dichotomy of this, where you got the honorable berserker, where they have like their own code of conduct and rules of warfare, but at the end of the day, they're still a berserker. But with Khorne, the blood god, it's not just blood and skulls and war. He is also the god of martial honor and pride and stuff like that, martial pride. So these guys kind of focus heavily on that aspect of Khorne and feed him in that way, as well as giving them skulls.
Yeah, I really like that. I like your bit that you threw in that they where that origination of their honor and that knightly aspect coming from the Dark Angels, which definitely of like the original legions meets that kind of knightly code the most, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll get into how they kind of join them and stuff, but that's where this stems from. And then it kind of just spirals over 10,000 years. I have artwork pulled up. AI is incredible nowadays, like how accurate you can get it. On the left side, we got like a Great Crusade era Knight of Slaughter, and he's very like knightly. And then on the 40K side, you got the grim dark version, the more berserker style of them. So,
oh, how the mighty have fallen after 10,000 years.
Yeah.
But speaking of 10,000 years, what about their history? Once numbered among the Warhounds and later the 12th Legion, the warband now known as the Knights of Slaughter traces its origins to the later years of the Great Crusade. During that age of conquest, this brotherhood fought in prolonged compliance actions alongside the Dark Angels, where they were exposed to the First Legion's ancient martial traditions. From them, the Knights of Slaughter learned the language of heraldry, the structure of knightly orders, and the ritual of honor-bound combat. These practices took root among warriors already bred for violence, forging a culture where discipline and slaughter existed in uneasy harmony. Even after the renaming of the Legion as the World Eaters, the Knights of Slaughter clung to their code. Each warrior bore personal heraldic devices upon his armor, broken crowns, spilled chalices, shattered swords, marking oaths sworn, foes defeated, and honors claimed in blood. Before battle, formal challenges were issued to enemy champions, lords, and war leaders. These duels were not acts of mercy, but of reverence, for the knights believed that a worthy foe slain face to face offered a purer tribute than any massacre. And that goes back to the more honorable, martial honor side of Khorne that Mark was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Those are probably, I imagine, like his favorite skulls that get collected.
Yeah, exactly. The ones of the actually worthy, where it's a nice fight and like maybe even both sides bled too. That makes a great duel, great story for Khorne.
Mm-hmm. For sure. The implantation of the butcher's nails did not break this tradition. Instead, the knights reshaped their code to endure it. The nails were declared as a sacred spur, a divine goad, divining the warrior toward righteous slaughter. Honor became not restraint but focus, violence given form and purpose. Those who broke the code were not spared the nails' agony. Rather, they were punished through ritual combat, forced to die publicly so their failure would stain no banner but their own. During the Horus Heresy, the Knights of Slaughter followed Angron into damnation. Their former bonds with the Dark Angels curdled into bitter rivalry, and those once called brothers became the most prized of all quarry. The warband's knightly ideals survived the fires of betrayal, though they were reshaped by the will of Khorne, whose favor they earned through ritualized bloodshed. Honor duels became sacrament, and the taking of skulls an act of devotion rather than trophy. You're muted, Mark.
Yeah. So just jumping in the timeline, real quick, of like, we learned that Angron didn't join their legion for like 100 years. They didn't found them, so they were like the Warhounds for like 100 years essentially. So I picture, they were with the Dark Angels for at least 50, 75 years doing campaigns alongside them. So they got really steeped in all this different code and heraldry and like inner circles and secrets and different tiers and all that kind of stuff. And then when Angron came, like they still kept it, and like the Butcher's Nails almost enhanced that kind of drive for that. But they spent a lot of time before they got like in with Angron.
I like that there's just enough space and leeway, even with like 30K stuff that we now know about, that like you can still come up with stuff like that for your own war bands and or chapters. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I like how like the Butcher's Nails, like that, it forces them to focus, and that focus and devotion and well, I guess focus. There's another word that is escaping me, but kind of overcoming the Butcher's Nails, as it were, to keep their original like ritualization and stuff is really neat.
Yeah. And like, even when they do the Butcher's Nails like implantation, I'm sure that's a huge ritual where they're like saying chants and all this kind of stuff. I didn't write anything down for it, but like you can imagine they're doing stuff, tapping each other on the shoulder with swords while they knight each other.
Very nice. In the 41st millennium, the Knights of Slaughter are a fully corrupted World Eaters warband, yet one bound by ancient vows. They organize themselves into orders of battle, led by champions known as Red Marshals and Skull Castellans, each commanding a retinue of berserkers who ride to war upon roaring engines or brass juggernauts, or inside an armored Spartan assault tank or Land Raider carrier. Before the first blow of battle, challenges are broadcasted across the Vox or carved into the flesh of fallen scouts, offering the enemy a choice that is no choice at all. To face the Knights of Slaughter is to be offered honor or extinction. Those who accept their challenge are slain and remembered, their skulls taken as worthy offerings to the blood god. Those who refuse are hunted without mercy, denied even the dignity of ritual combat. Thus do the Knights of Slaughter prove their creed, that honor and savagery are not opposites, but twin blades wielded in Khorne's name. I wonder what would happen if like they challenge an opponent and then they lose.
Yeah, their skulls are then taken.
Yeah, they become the sacrifice, maybe.
Yeah. There is an honor still to it. Like if you join an honor duel and you lose, you still accepted that challenge and you still step forward. Like even the enemies that they kill, like they want to kill the ones that are fighting back in like a good fight. So, even if they do die, there's still that honor to it. Like they met their oaths.
Is it, if someone refuses to fight them, do they impose a cost on that person? Like, do they make their death slow and painful? Or is it just a quick death? Because in my mind, the logic would be to like just, well, may as well try and run away and get a quick death rather than try and fight.
Yeah, like I feel like when we get into it, we'll get into like Blade Knights and Bolter Knights. So the Bolter Knights are more of like that mop-up crew of like the cowardly, where the Blade Knights, they're going and challenging and kind of doing more of that frontal assaults. And, maybe the Bolter Knights are holding the line back so that the warriors can duel in the front. So yeah, the cowards are definitely just mowed down indiscriminately with bolt gunfire.
Fair enough. All right, let's get into organization. The Knights of Slaughter maintain a rigid but brutally simple hierarchy, organized into war squads of 8 warriors, each formation reflecting both ancient knightly order and the sacred number of Khorne. Though the butcher's nails howl without cease and discipline frays with every campaign, this structure endures not despite their madness, but because it gives shape to it, ensuring that even at their most frenzied, the Knights of Slaughter kill with purpose, order, and intent. The 4 orders of battle. The Knights employ 4 complementary strategies that blend knightly discipline with the chaos of the butcher's nails. Through this combination of doctrine, ritual, and weapon mastery, the Knights of Slaughter turn every battlefield into a theater of both honor and annihilation, their methods as disciplined as they are deadly, and their devotion to Khorne absolute. The Crimson Charge, Juggernaut-mounted World Crusher Knights thunder across the battlefield in devastating charges. Chained lances pierce enemy lines, seeking champions and command elements, converting speed and mass into instruments of sanctioned slaughter. 2. The Iron Procession. Squads advance within armored Spartan assault tanks and Land Raider carriers, closing the distance under cover and disembarking to issue formal challenges. Foot warriors strike with chain blades, bolt pistols, and bolters, turning disciplined formations into storms of ritualized combat. 3. The Unstoppable March. Foot soldiers advance in tight formations, shields and chain blades at the ready, forcing ritual duels upon the enemy. Honor is observed with each strike, ensuring that no foe escapes the warband's gaze, and that every kill strengthens the web of vows binding squad mates in shared slaughter. 4. The Judgment Volley. Bolters and heavy bolters thunder in support, their sanctified rounds marking enemies as judged. Even distant foes are counted among the warband's offerings to Khorne, their deaths claimed as proof of oath and devotion. Something I kind of like about this, I guess, what is this, a chapter? Or
warband chapter.
Warband, yeah.
It's chaos.
Yeah, basically chaos chapter. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The thing I kind of like about it is they are very organized, which it, like, on face value seems opposite of chaotic. But because of the nature of their organization, it serves the purposes of chaos. So I kind of like this sort of, it kind of violates a little bit of what you maybe expect of chaos to be, chaotic and unordered, but it's
that's like the vibe of this whole chapter, Warband, where it's just like, instead of focusing on the violence, you focus on the honor aspect of Khorne. Instead of you kind of just flip it just slightly.
Yeah.
Well, and that in and of itself is kind of chaotic too. Like you hear that a warband of Khorne is coming, and you expect the reckless charges and the mass slaughter, and then imagine seeing these chaos knights like in a fairly organized march up to you, and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Goose stepping towards you. Yeah,
there we go. Right. Well, it would confuse the shit out of you too. Like you'd be like, "What the fuck is?" Like you would be like second guessing everything and making it more chaotic for yourself too.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole chaos thing is a little bit of a misnomer too. Because you got to have to be able to control the stuff that chaos does. You have to have some level of organization. I'm not saying it has to be like Imperium level.
Yeah,
but there has to be some kind of cohesion, like what Horus was able to do for the Siege of Terra.
Mm-hmm.
So,
otherwise things would just crumble. How would you be able to fight a chapter if you can't even gather 10 warriors together and keep them focused?
Exactly. That's what Malice is for.
Yeah, exactly. So those are kind of the 4 orders of battle, like the 4 main tactics. The Crimson Charge is definitely my favorite. We'll talk more about that later, but no, it's just Juggernauts-mounted Astartes who are riding Juggernauts, which are like demon engines that look like rhinos. So very knightly-esque kind of vibe there. And then you got some tanks and some marching guys. We'll go into the ranks next. The first kind of major category is the Eightfold Oathbound. The Eightfold Oathbound are 8 warriors, including the Slaughter Lord, bound by blood and oaths and witness deeds, serving as honor guards to the Slaughter Lord. champions in war and ritual duels, and living icons of the warband's code. Their armor and presence embody the truth that honor and slaughter, when bound together, are the highest offering to Khorne. The Slaughter Lord. At the apex stands the Slaughter Lord, the sole master of the warband, whose authority is proven not by title alone, but by an unbroken chain of victorious challenges. The Red Marshal. Known as the Red Marshal, this figure is the voice of the warband's rites, oaths, and battle litanies. Where the Slaughter Lord commands by blade and victory, the Red Marshal commands by word, rhythm, and ritualized violence. Think Chaplain when you're thinking about this guy. The Blade of Khorne. The Blade of Khorne stands as a warband's living avatar of the blood god's favor, a rank earned only through peerless slaughter and unwavering devotion. Neither commander nor priest, the blade exists to be unleashed, sent where the fighting is thickest, duels are most brutal, and honor can only be proven in blood. When the Blade of Khorne takes the field, it is understood that Khorne's gaze is upon the battlefield, and the victory or annihilation will be decided at the edge of his weapon. So this guy's kind of like the chapter champion or whatever. Almost even like an emperor's champion, but like Khorne's champion.
Mm-hmm.
And the final kind of guy in this is, or the final name guy, is the Ancient of the Crimson Tally. And he bears a war banner heavy with stitched sigils and blood-marked glyphs, each a recording victory, duel, or honored slaughter claimed by the Knights of Slaughter. To fight beneath it is to be judged by history itself, driving fell knights to greater savagery as they strive to earn their own mark upon the banner. And then the other 4 members are just kind of like command squad, honor guard, just the remaining 8-fold. And then we jump to the next rank, which is a Skull Castellan. So each Berserker Knight squad is led by a single champion known as the Skull Castellan, who serves as a duelist, oath keeper, and battlefield commander. And then he will lead Blood Knights, which are the remaining warriors are titled Blood Knights, berserkers bound by shared vows, heraldry, promise, and mutual witness in slaughter. And then I also have Gore Squires, which are like neophytes. They don't get seen very often, but they do make appearances. So recruits still in training, they have not earned the right on the battlefield and will only gain so after the glory of the dueling pits. So the ranks are pretty simple. You basically have like your command squad and then just individual squads with a Skull Castellan and 7 berserkers. And then the war gear of them will be either blade or bolter.
Nice. But going back just a section, I was wondering, do chain lances already exist in 40K, or did you make that up for this warband?
You know, you have weapons like the Nostramo chain glaive. What do they call that thing? So chain spears definitely exist, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all.
So for the Slaughter Lord is like, so say a Slaughter Lord like dies in a duel or, you know, dies at some point. Is the next Slaughter Lord just whoever has the next longest unbroken chain of victorious challenges?
Like that's a big part of it, but you also have to be like a tactical leader. Like you are leading the warband, so there has to be some tactical genius there. Like maybe if you're like just a great warrior, you're gonna find your way into the 8-fold. You might even become the Blade of Khorne. But to be the Slaughter Lord, there is that tactical acumen too.
Okay, so you just have to have never lost, but also be like a really good actual field general, have the practical skills for that part.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So after that, we get into the war squads. We have the World Crusher Knights. Encased in heraldic power armor atop roaring juggernauts, these knights charge like living siege engines, crushing foes beneath grinding hoof and chain lance. Every stab of their weapon and stomp of their war beast is a symphony of ruin, a ritual of blood and honor that leaves nothing. Leaves nothing standing. Sorry, I was blocking the notes. That last word.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
We had a question from with the Gaming Monster. Why do they seem so nice to their recruits? We'll get into it more. They aren't. the planet they come from is kind of wild. We'll get into it. There's a lot of stuff you have to do before you can even like get into the circle. And then once you do, like you're nice to your squires to some degree. Like you don't want to treat your squire like shit and then he doesn't load your bolt gun for you, you know,
or stabs you in the back while you're not, while you're doing a duel, or
Exactly.
takes the battery pack out of your chain sword.
Yeah, exactly. So once you're kind of in the knights, like even if you're a neophyte, there is a level of respect and honor, and like you have a place, you have your rank, and you will eventually, if you're good enough, rise through the chapter. So
yeah, even from that Goresquire section, it sounds like you've probably already had to kill a lot of other recruits to get to be a Goresquire. So you've been put through the ringer already, and like I said, gained that respect in that place.
Yeah.
So after World Crusher Knights, we have the Blade Knights. Twisting, roaring, and drenched in blood, these warriors wade into combat with chain blades, disc shields, and bolt pistols, leaving nothing but ruin in their wake. Every strike is a hymn to Khorne, a ritual of slaughter and honor carved into the battlefield. And after Blade Knights, we've got our Bolter Knights. Bolt weaponry etched with runes and bristling ritualized ammo. These berserkers strike from afar with deadly precision. Each bolt fired counts as an oath-bound kill, spreading fear and bloodshed before they close for that kill. And then war carriages. War carriages are oath-bound engines of iron and ceramite, such as Spartan assault tanks and land raider carriers, forged for transport and for the sacred delivery of blade and bolter into the heart of the foe. They thunder through fire and ruin to cast their knights directly into slaughter, ensuring no warrior is denied the honor of killing at arm's reach.
Yeah, this is definitely like a mechanized army list. Like I would like, well, and when I did my buy list, everyone does get their own transport or they get juggernauts. So it's definitely like they treat these things like they're steeds.
Interesting. I wonder though, like, how do you get around because a lot of Khorne-centered factions typically frown upon range combat. So that'd be my only thing about that.
Yeah, the range combat, like we briefly mentioned, like they almost save that for like holding corridors so honor duels can be maintained, or just gunning down those that are fleeing, or like when you rout the enemy, that's when you bring out the bolters, when they're running.
Okay, so basically range as a last resort.
Yeah. Well, now, the other thing they do have too that I wrote down eventually is they have rite bolts, RITE, and these bolts are carved with like the symbols of Khorne, so that like even these kills are like dedicated to Khorne to some way, and there is still like a skill and an honor, maybe not an honor, but there's still a skill and a martial tradition to using a gun properly.
Yeah, and you can have pistol duels. I mean, historically you've had sniper duels too.
Sure.
So,
fuck yeah, like little like John Wick pistol guy berserker out there. Like fuck yeah.
Oh man, someone shot his steed, so he's out for revenge. Hey, I don't blame him.
Right, meet me at high noon outside of the Hive City, and we're gonna bolt pistols at 30 paces or something.
That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, no, like so that's a great example of an honor duel with a ranged weapon, and like that takes a certain amount of courage too. It's almost like you get one shot essentially. Bravery, yeah.
And that honor duel, like you're saying, that honorable aspect is gonna make that kill even more worthy of Khorne, because you're also like you're putting your life on the line, like you're putting your blood on the line to take somebody else's blood in the most dangerous way possible. So
last cannons at dawn. Fuck yeah.
Last cannons, yes.
I'm now imagining like Imperial Knights doing something similar. Just like, okay, 5,000 paces each direction.
Right. Turnabout and volcano cannons and
charge your volcano cannons.
Right.
3, 2, 1.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I'm in. Fuck this army. Let's go back to knights. I'm in.
I'm detecting the theme with Mark's armies. They always lead back to knights.
Always knights all the way down.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Oh man. So what is this? So what is the strength of this warband, you may ask? The strength of the Knights of Slaughter is never permitted to fall below 88 blades. Funny Khorne number. A number held sacred as the double mark of Khorne's favor and the warband's oath-bound discipline. Losses are answered swiftly, whether through the elevation of proven warriors, the induction of worthy world eaters, or ritual trials that claim only those fit to bear the codes. To fight beneath this number is considered a sign of number is considered a sign of dishonor and impending judgment, and campaigns are delayed or intensified until the count is restored. Thus, while their members swell and shrink with the tides of war, knights are always encountered at a strength that reflects both their devotion and their refusal to appear diminished before friend or foe alike.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed the 88. I definitely, when writing this, I'm like, okay, I either have to have 4 separate ranks or 8 separate ranks. Squads have to be broken down to 8 or 4. Like everything is broken down into that sacred number. The colors and the heraldry of the knights. The colors in the heraldry of the Knights of Slaughter reflect both their shared creed and their fiercely individual oaths. Red, black, and white dominate their armor, but rarely in uniform arrangement. Plates are quartered, halved, and broken into checkered fields, each configuration marking personal history rather than rank alone. Gauntlets, pauldrons, and helms and greaves may bear different hues, creating a patchwork of war colors that recalls ancient knightly panoply rather than a modern legionary scheme. Over these fields are set the warband's heraldic devices: broken crowns, spilled chalices, shattered blades, and other symbols of fallen authority and blood-earned honor, each rendered in bronze and darkened brass. No two Knights of Slaughter are identical in livery, yet their shared palette and reoccurring sigils make their meaning unmistakable. Individual deeds bound together by a single code of violence, honor, and devotion to Khorne. These guys are going to be a bitch to paint, but I'm hyped, man. Like, I like doing heraldry and like all the little symbols and stuff, even though it's going to be tough. At least they're not firstborn models, so I'm going to have a little better time with it.
Yeah, just based on the pictures, they look very difficult to paint.
Yeah. Like, I think this is going to be my, like, Opus Magnus, or whatever the fuck that's called, my masterpiece. I got a lot of time on the island and not a lot to do, so might as well paint berserkers.
Yeah, and I love that. I also I enjoy heraldry, just like from like doing my LARPing stuff and helping people design their heraldries and like looking at different cultures have their own heraldic rules and names for everything. It's really, really cool. If anyone listening like just thinks heraldry is cool, like when you've watched movies or games and all that symbolism, you can go find all sorts of guides on like historic medieval heraldry from like Europe and like England and Western European countries, and even like Asian countries have their own like heraldic traditions and rules and symbols and everything. Yeah, it's really neat to look up.
Yeah, and like you can clearly tell like from just a symbol like where that's from. Like you see a dragon, well, does it look like a Chinese dragon or like an English dragon? Like you can really start identifying with just like even hieroglyphics. Like they say so much in just that little picture. So the next little thing they have are kill cloths. With the Knights of Slaughter, cloth is a status made visible. A full cape and full tabard mark the eightfold oathbound, those whose deeds have been witnessed again and again, champions, oathbound, and icons of the warbound, each inch of fabric heavily stitched with tallies, torn heraldry, and blood-darkened scripture. A full tabard without a cape donates a skull castellan, proven warriors, and squad leaders, while half tabards are worn by blood knights, still carving their names into the warband's memory, their honor literally unfinished. Those who wear plain black cloth clothing instead of power armor are either gore squires yet to earn their heraldry and power armor, or disgraced warriors stripped of honor. For among the Knights of Slaughter, fabric is not decoration, it is proof. When we get to the conversion corner, we'll go into a little more detail, but right now I'll just say I'm building these guys with Black Templar models as their base, so you get those like that knightly vibe with like the angled collared piece in the front, and they all have tabards, whether it's a full or a half one, or they have the capes over the shoulder. So That's the vibe I'm going with these kill cloths, where they're just really going to be kind of able to show different legacies and heraldry and all that kind of stuff.
I'm telling Toasty.
Yeah. I tried to get him on tonight, but he said he had life, and I said, I don't believe it. You don't need to lie to me. Like, just admit it. You said some irredeemable things about beating and eating hookers, and now you don't want to join anymore. It's fine.
He's never going to live that down.
No, he will not.
so Mark, for the like disgraced knights where they like lose their power armor and have to wear like these plain black garments, is that similar to like the Sister Repentia, where is it like a forever thing, or can they like earn it back through like ritual duels?
I never really like fully like wrote out a rank for it, but I imagine they just go back to being a gore squire and then having to like repeat that process of earning their spot. But like, yeah, it's a good like. It depends on the offense too. Like, so if you run from battle, you ain't getting demoted, you're getting killed. Like that. But if you met a worthy foe in battle and you might have wounded him, but you still lost, like, yeah, you're dishonored, but like you can earn your honor back, and then you get kind of demoted back to the Gore Squire and fight your way back through it.
Okay. All right. So their combat doctrine, they have the 8 codes of slaughter. During the Great Crusade, the 8 codes of slaughter, as they are now called, were first conceived as a martial doctrine rather than a creed, a framework through which the Knights of Slaughter imposed discipline upon their inherent savagery. Influenced by their campaigns alongside the Dark Angels, the codes emphasize challenges, witness, and honorable combat, serving as a means to direct violence rather than restrain it. As the butcher's nails took firm hold and the legion slid towards damnation, these same codes did not vanish but hardened. What had once been laws of conduct became rites of blood, and what had been honor before one's brothers became devotion before Khorne. In the Long War, the 8 codes were reshaped into sacred commandments, their language steeped in ritual and their purpose bound to skull-taking and sacrifice, until discipline and worship became indistinguishable and honor itself was reforged as a blade offered to the blood god. So the first of these is the challenge must be given. No worthy foe is slain without challenge. To kill unannounced is theft from Khorne and cowardice before one's brothers. Do you have something you're going to say, Mark?
Just blur and fucking challenges over their Vox comms is funny. It's just like drowning out the noise of bolter fire. It's like, I challenge you! And they just go from guy to guy challenge them. Because if you don't, it's dishonorable. Like, you got to call out your kills.
So with the challenges, like legitimate question, do they, in your mind, have to allow it's like a reasonable amount of time for the person to like notice and accept the challenge? They can't just be like, I challenge you, and just shoot them in the back of the head. Do they have to be like, I challenge you, like roughly 5 seconds or something, and then, or at least like, I challenge you, make eye contact, and then you're good to go, something like that?
Yeah, I imagine the challenges are more issued like at the beginning of the battle. Like, we're calling out all the leaders, all the sergeants, like, you will meet us in combat. Like, it's not necessarily that running from guy to guy as you challenge each one individually. You might be thinking it, but it's not that like, it's not that like you're circling each other, like trying to find each other's weak spot, dueling. It's more just the violence. Yeah. Because
I imagine like it's impractical to like, have to challenge everybody that you're gonna fight. Like, so it's like the beginning of the battle, they like everyone kind of like makes an initial challenge, and then like they do that and then just goes into like quote like normal combat.
Yeah. And like even at the beginning, you could challenge the entire army as a whole, to battle, to glory, and that would work as well.
Okay. Just the important thing is that you're not doing a sneak attack, really.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, there's no stealth with these guys. There's no assassinations.
This kind of goes into a question I was having. So no less than 88, but they could definitely have more than that. Just for clarification on the numbers. Okay. So I don't imagine like this seems to operate on a very much smaller scale. So I don't imagine these would be like massive invasions, just more like glorified skirmishes and a lot of combat by champion type of situations.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what those are the battles that they are selecting. and they probably will like ally themselves with like other space marines and like renegade guardsmen, and then like they can let them do all the heavy lifting while they're doing their personal challenges, because they are religious, like they are worshiping their god in their warfare. So they can take some liberties and luxuries when it comes to not doing trench warfare and shit. They're just like, we can't be bothered with that.
Okay. So the second is the worthy must be faced. Leaders, champions, and warlords are claimed first. The skull of the weak carries no honor unless taken in the shadow of the strong. Then the third is the duel is sacred. Once joined, a duel is inviolate. No blade may strike the chosen foe, save that of the challenger, until blood judges the victor. So that could be a reason why you might like get knocked back down if you violate that honor duel. You're gonna get knocked back down to squire.
Yeah, like in Halo, where it's like, oh, you kill thief or whatever. Like that's not acceptable. Yeah. No kill thieves in this.
Yeah, anyone that's seen Red versus Blue, you kill stealing fucktard.
Yeah, exactly. Not acceptable.
Oh man, you aged me with that, Fuzz. You aged me with
right. I've got the DVD box set of seasons 1 through 5 downstairs.
Oh man.
Anyway, so let's see. Duel is sacred. 4 is no mercy, no hesitation. Honor is not mercy. A wounded foe is to be finished swiftly, that the killer is clean and the offering pure. I like that one because it's a lot like anyone that's ever taken like hunter's education courses. Like to be like an ethical hunter is you kill swiftly. You don't want the person to suffer. You want it to be like a pure, quick, clean kill. So it's almost like a hunter aspect to it as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. 5. The skull is the oath fulfilled. Victory is proven only in the taking of the skull. To abandon a fallen foe is to leave a vow uncompleted. So is that like literally like when you kill somebody, you cannot leave their body until you take their head off and collect that skull?
You can come back. Like,
okay.
At the end of the battle, they're going to go around and collect a bunch of skulls. And it might take a minute to sort out the corpses, but yeah.
Yeah. Maybe during an honor duel, you might like, as your last thing, take the skull, buddy. And in the heat of combat, you're not stopping again, like to take every head.
Like it goes back to like, they still have to operate to some level. They can't just be crazy. Even regular berserkers, as we were talking about, like they can't just be feral. Like they have to have some organization, some driving force beyond just madness.
Yeah. Let's see, number 6 is the banner remembers. Every kill worthy of record must be marked in heraldry. Armor, shield, or banner shall bear witness, lest honor fade into anonymity. That one's really, really cool. See, 7, the nails are the spur. The butcher's nails are not shame, but command. To deny their call is weakness, to master their fury through ritual strength. And then finally, 8, Khorne is the final judge. When codes conflict, blood decides. Victory sanctifies all actions, and the blood god alone may condemn the triumphant. Very, very cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so the 8 codes of slaughter that they try to abide by as best they can. Next, we have the 8 litanies and chants of war.
All right. The 8 litanies and chants of war, as they are known now, began during the Great Crusade as practical rites of war, spoken to focus the mind and bind warriors to shared purpose before battle, drawn from the call and response oaths and battlefield catechisms of the Dark Angels. These recitations reinforced unity, discipline, and the sanctity of single combat. With the implantation of the butcher's nails and the legion's fall, the words endured even as their meaning shifted. Chants once used to steady the hand became invocations to endure pain, and litanies meant to honor victory were twisted into offerings of blood and skulls. In the age of chaos, these rituals are no longer reminders of restraint, but weapons in themselves, sonic rites that whip the nails into frenzy and consecrate each act of violence as worship, until prayer and slaughter are spoken in the same breath. The first one is the Litany of the Challenge. recited before battle or broadcasted to the enemy. Hear us, we name you. Stand and be judged, or flee and be nothing. Number 2, the chant of the worthy, chanted as champions are identified.
Put a little more zest in this one, though, for me, accent-wise.
Almost went to the Reverend Terry the Templar there. Not the many, not the weak, the crowned, the armed, the worthy.
Almost sound like a fun black guy. Nice.
Number 3 is the Litany of the Sacred Duel, spoken before engaging a chosen foe. All right. By blade alone, by blood alone, witnessed by war, let none interfere.
You can't ruin this for me. You're only making it better.
Number 4, the Litany of Final Mercy, uttered over a fallen but living entity. Mercy is delayed. Oh, sorry. Mercy is delay. Delay is insult, but ended, and be counted. Number 5, the Chant of the Taken Skull, chanted at the moment of victory. Oath sworn, oath paid, the tally grows. Khorne is served. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
The Litany of the Banner, recited while repainting armor or marking heraldry. This mark remembers, this mark endures. Let no kill fade, let no oath rot. Just imagine them saying that like over and over and over again.
Yeah. And in like this chapter too, I imagine they're painting their own armor. I have a ritual that they do where they do that. Where other chapters, you have chapter serfs like painting your armor and doing all that detail work for you. But these guys like it. They're kind of artsy, I guess, hey?
Every single brushstroke, this mark remembers. This mark endures. Let no kill fade. Let no oath rot. This mark remembers.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
That's going to be the worst live stream when I have to paint these guys and just repeat that.
Well, now you got to do it. Now you got to do it. Oh, man. Number 7, the Chant of the Nails, chanted during the butcher's nails rites or before the charge. They bite! We answer! They command! We obey! And then number 8, the Litany of the Final Judge, spoken at the end of battle. Blood was spilled. The foe is silent. If we erred, let Khorne strike us next.
Yeah,
Honored be his name.
Honored be Khorne. Yeah, so those are some of the chants that they do. Like, they're very ritualistic. Like you said, it's so easy to picture them painting their armor and just saying that over and over and over.
Yeah, just imagining them like sharpening their weapons, loading their bolters, sitting in the rhinos, riding into battle, just like, you know, quietly, either to themselves or just like one of the commanders over the box, like going over these chants.
Yeah. Like the Skull really Castellians saying it first, everyone's repeating after him. Like, different squads definitely have their own rituals, but they all kind of hold these ones, like just how they enact them would be maybe a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do kind of like how they have this sort of liturgy to Khorne. I feel like some worshippers of Khorne and even of other gods, again, it's kind of more, it's just like berserker chaos, like maim and destroy for the sake of maiming and destroying. But these guys are very deliberate, meticulous, and liturgical, and it's like it's all part of like the ritual to them. It's all part of the religious experience. Which, if you're gonna worship a god, like worship the god, you know, like don't just be random, you know, like be like go all the way. So I'm like fanatic. I'm digging it. Yeah, I'm digging it. All right, and with that, we'll get into the culture and the rituals and the worship of Khorne. The Knights of Slaughter serve Khorne not through blind frenzy, but through discipled devotion rooted in honor and ritual. To them, the blood god embodies the ultimate standard of martial virtue. And each duel, challenge, and kill is both an offering and a testament to their own codes. Worship is expressed through ceremony as much as carnage. Skulls are claimed with formal challenge. Victories are etched into heraldry, and blood is poured in rites that sanctify the battlefield. In this way, honor and slaughter are inseparable. The knights see no contradiction in killing with both fury and reverence, for in every strike, every crushed enemy, and every collected skull, they pay homage to Khorne's principles while proving themselves worthy of his attention.
And Khorne likes it. There's some war bands where you're like, okay, you might serve Khorne, but I don't quite get it. But like Khorne likes this war band. Like he knows what they're up to. He approves.
These are his favorites.
Not favorites. You know, I'm not a special snowflake or anything, but you know, they've definitely.
Oh, come on, Mark.
No, I'm not a Canadian anymore. I'm not no snowflake. You can call me like I don't know, some type of offensive water type slang.
You're a special palm leaf or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there we go. I'm a special palm leaf. That's the one. I like it. So we're going to their corruption, mutation, and demons. The Knights of Slaughter view mutation and warp taint as a weakness, an external aid that diminishes the purity of their own skill and discipline. Where other warbands might embrace corruption and amplify their strength, the Knights believe their mastery of the 8 codes and the litanies of war and ritualized combat is enough. Flesh and gene seed must remain untainted. Weapons and armor honed through ritual and blood. For the warband prides itself on achieving supremacy through training, oath, and fury alone. To yield to mutation is to admit one's dependence, and the Knights of Slaughter require no such crutches. Though utterly devoted to Khorne, the Knights of Slaughter do not summon or bargain with demons. They dominate them or allow them the role of executioners. Juggernaut-mounted World Crusher Knights are known to drive chains through the essence of demonic entities, binding them into their armor, weapons, and engines of war, while others imprison lesser demons within chain blades, chain staves, or sanctified bolt rounds. Each binding is a ritual of conquest, a declaration that fury must be mastered to have worth. Fleshhounds of Khorne are the sole exception, appearing unbidden upon the battlefield to hunt the dishonored, those who flee, break challenge, or abandon oath. The knights do not command these beasts, nor do they interfere. Their presence is taken as Khorne's judgment made manifest, proof that cowardice is beneath notice and that true warriors need no demonic aid, only the strength to dominate or be found wanting. Yeah, so you know the stuff that they use, whether it's riding juggernauts or just ignoring flesh hounds, like they're trying to control these demons. They're not working side by side with bloodletters and bloodthirsters. There's no demon princes in this war band. Like that's not their vibe.
I feel like they would make a pretty good allies, or at least do a lot of trading with the Iron Warriors because of the whole demon engine and demon domination and all that.
Yeah, that along with like the rejection of the mutation as well.
Yeah,
if I'm remembering right, because I think the Iron Warriors also like are not super big fans of like actually taking in the chaos taint.
Yeah, they will like willingly amputate themselves if that happens.
There's this cool war band I came across when just kind of riding through this, and it's called the Iron Butchers, where it's World Eaters and Iron Warriors, chimeric gene seed. So you get kind of that like super grim, determined Iron Warriors vibe with like the butchery of the World Eaters. Definitely look at some pictures; they're pretty tight.
That sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think if there's another question. I feel like there's another question that I had for you, but I do not remember it. I do think the Fleshhound thing. No, it does not. It never does. It never involves.
It never does. Okay, we'll take this comment off the screen then.
I do think that I really like that Fleshhounds bit. That like that's really really neat. As far as like that kind of the ultimate demotion. If you're a coward, like you're saying, like if you run from battle, you don't just get knocked down from to be a squire again or something. You're just gonna get ripped to shreds by a flesh hound.
Yeah, the flesh hounds are sweet. For those who don't know, they're like demon dogs essentially, but they can smell fear through or across space and time or whatever. They smell fear in the warp, and then they track you and they pounce. So yeah, if you're doing something dishonorable, something discouragely, not courage-like, they'll find you.
Yeah. So there's ceremonies and rites. The Oath of the Crimson Gauntlet. Before any campaign, each knight swears upon a relic-studded chain gauntlet soaked in the blood of past champions. The ritual involves reciting the 8 codes aloud and striking the gauntlet 4 times with their chain blade, binding their actions in the coming war to the dual ideals of honor and slaughter. Number 2, the Rite of Heraldic Renewal. Once per solar cycle, the knights repaint and inscribe their armor, killcloths, and heraldry, refreshing colors, adding new symbols for fallen enemies, and etching the names of those slain in ritual duels. This rite is a silent ceremony performed in meditative focus, ensuring every knight's armor reflects both personal deeds and the warband's collective identity.
Oh man, I found there's a lore loop right there. They're supposed to be saying with each brush stroke. I what was the chant? I had litany and everything. I'll correct that.
Oh, it's all right. It's fine.
Okay.
They say it in their mind. They repeat the litany. It's a personal moment.
Yeah.
The litanies of blooded silence. Each fortnight, when possible, the warband gathers in a designated chamber or ruin to recite the litanies of war without motion, in total silence, save for the synchronized strike of chain blades on stone. This meditation binds them in purpose, reinforces squad cohesion, and ensures that the nail's influence is transformed into ritualized control rather than chaotic frenzy. Yeah, I've said it before. I love the willpower over the nails as opposed to submission to them. It's just very, very neat.
Yeah, definitely. They use it as a tool, like that driving force. You can turn your hate into a motivator. So they kind of do that.
Yeah, it's I could see that being almost the first test of if you're going to make it in this warband is if you get the nails put in you, and if you don't have the mental fortitude to overcome them, then you're out.
Yeah, if your first kill is just strangling some poor homeless woman, you're not worth the butcher's nails. But if you go out and you challenge and a skull castellan, then it's yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. And finally, there's the ceremony of skull offering. Before departing for a campaign or after a major battle, each knight presents a collected skull to the skull hearth of Khorne. The skulls are engraved with runes, their previous owner's challenge recorded, and the ritual is accompanied by chants and the lighting of sacrificial fires, consecrating the kill as an offering to Khorne and reaffirming the warband's devotion.
It's a beautiful and grotesque picture.
Yeah, I'm imagining just a fireplace made of skulls, like a literal hearth of skulls. And then you light the ritual fire in the hearth of skulls.
Oh, it's such a good smell, too.
I mean, this screams like prime 40K, though. Come on.
Very grimdark, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have a skull pile in 40K, you even living...
Even the Imperium has their skull piles. Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get with the program.
They put them on their armor.
Are we the baddies?
Says everyone in 40K, yeah.
I love that video.
So, smell of home, sweet home, burning skulls and flesh.
I love the smell of boiling blood in the morning.
I'll say to Jax's question, he says, do the Tau think they're the baddies? I do think there are moments of doubt, especially in certain areas, with Farsight, not trusting the ethereals. There are going to be sections of Tau that are is the way we're going about this truly the right way? Are our intentions as a Empire like truly the right way, the pure way. So
Yeah.
Indeed. I think I heard someone say like Farsight is pretty much going to be the closest you're ever going to get to like a straight up good guy in the setting.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
So, I know plenty of good guys who have a sword and kill you, and then steal your soul and extend their lifespan. Like plenty of people do
Right.
that.
So, yeah,
And now
I thought that was a little sus, but I didn't know enough about Tau to really have an opinion on that.
So last little bit of like Tau tangent for that is I would say no, because Farsight still believes in like the greater good as a whole. So like their processes, procedures of like join or die and everything, he's fine with that. He just doesn't trust the ethereals to be the leaders is his thing. From what I know.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That is another wrinkle from our
Nicest
brain.
guy in the universe. No, man. There's like funny memes from like 1D4chan where it's like, Khorne, he's such a good guy. Like, you want to have a fun night of partying, go hang out with Khorne. Like, he's a great time. Those memes are great. Khorne the Betrayer. Lovely way to spend an evening.
You see,
Yeah, I
there's
don't know
another
about
thing
that.
there's another thing I know on Reddit that I very rarely peruse, but it's also called Good Guy Sauron. So just think about that.
Yeah, I mean, in Star Wars, the Empire did nothing wrong. It's kind of been a meme for a while.
Mhm.
They are
Oh, yeah.
being attacked by a terrorist cell.
Oh yeah, I feel like anything in Star Wars, Jordan, is like if you just put in the words from a certain point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, from my point of view, the Jedi are the bad guys.
Yeah. Just a radical religious fundamentalist group that is trying to bring disorder.
Love it.
Right.
Oh boy. So let's kind of steer away from the allegories here, and let's get back to these Knights of Slaughter.
All allegories fail eventually.
So the muster point.
Sauron as a hero, he created jobs, made industry, and defended minorities. Fuck. That's what Jack's comment is. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, muster point. The Knights of Slaughter muster upon Varkul's crown, a fortress world clinging to the northern edge of the Great Rift, where reality itself groans under the pressure of constant war. Once an imperial bastion, the world is now ringed with citadels, dueling grounds, and vast skull vaults carved into its basalt crust. Warp storms scour its skies without warning, and flesh hounds are said to stalk its ash plains, hunting the dishonored and the weak. It is here that banners are renowned, the 8 codes are recited in full, and the warband gathers before great campaigns, standing in ritual formation beneath blood-red skies to ensure their numbers and oaths remain unbroken. Recruitment. Recruitment among the population of Varkul's crown is merciless and ritualized, for survival alone is not enough to earn the nails. Aspirants are drawn from warrior cults, fortress clans, and gladiatorial orders raised beneath the warband shadow, then subjected to a series of brutal trials designed to test endurance, obedience, and honor under pain. Candidates must endure ritual combat, prolonged suffering, and formal duels overseen by skull castellans, with failure punished by execution or consignment to sacrificial rites. Only those who embrace discipline as readily as fury are implanted with the butcher's nails and reforged into knights. Their first act as initiates being the taking of a skull in formal challenge to prove their worth to both warband and God.
Yeah. So this is their like muster point. It's definitely not a home world. They do recruit from other planets as well. Like if they're just passing by and they're going to be abducting somebody if they're worthy of abduction. But this is definitely like where they get the vast majority of their recruits, this planet.
I was going to ask this earlier, but is there anything stopping them from challenging each other?
Like they're all on the same side is the thing, and they all are swearing to the same god, and they're all swearing the same oaths and stuff. So the only challenging to each other really is when you become like to up a rank. Like to get out of being a gore squire, maybe you need to kill somebody, earn their spot.
Okay, so but there's not like it's not like a Zinchian thing where there's too much ambition and backstabbing.
No, like it's very rare, and like it's ritual more so than like to death in that case. Almost like it'll be to 10th blood or something like that. Like, they respect their own for sure.
Okay.
All right, there we moving on to the armory here. So the war gear of the Knights of Slaughter is chosen not for elegance, but for its ability to make killing both intimate and undeniable. Chain blades are favored above all, perfected through centuries of ritual maintenance and brutal refinement. Their teeth turned to bite deep and tear wide in the moment of impact. Many knights bear heavy shields, scarred slabs of ceramite and brass, used to close the distance under fire and turn a battle into a personal reckoning. Those who ride to war atop roaring juggernauts wield chains lances, long-shafted engines of destruction designed to impale, dismember, and drag foes screaming from the saddle. Bolt pistols remain common secondary arms, while some others carry bolters or heavy bolters, revered for their thunderous report and reliability. And the warband is known to employ a unique pattern of sanctified bolt ammunition. Its shells etched with oath runes and blood rites, so that even distant kills carry the mark of challenge, judgment, and Khorne's favor. That's kind of fun. I just imagine one of these guys writing "Live, Love, Laugh" on one of their arms.
Right. It's just all just like scrimshaw, just challenge into the bolt shell, and then they like smear their blood over it so it gets into the grooves.
Yeah. I think we're favored war gear now.
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry about that. So Juggernauts. Juggernauts are nigh unstoppable brutes, covered in metal plates. They crush foes beneath their brazen hooves and can shrug off direct blows from all but the heaviest weapons. And they use chain lances. I feel like we just read this, but maybe not. Rotating two spears and spinning death. These chain lances bite through armor and bone like mounted atop juggernauts. They turn lumbering war engines into unstoppable vortices of carnage, tearing aside infantry and fortifications with unrelenting fury. Chain blades. Twin-edged whirling maelstorms of serrated metal. These heavy chain blades rend flesh and armor alike. When paired with his shield, their devastating arcs turn their wielder into unrelenting whirlwinds of slaughter. So chain blades are normally paired with chain shields or disc shields. Stout discs of reinforced ceramite and jagged steel. These shields are as much a weapon as they are protection. Perfect for deflecting blows or smashing foes as they turn the bearer into a bulwark of steel, capable of holding the line or charging headlong into slaughter. I found some sweet 3D printed disc shields where, yeah, they got the World Eater thing. I'll show them later on in the end, but definitely have some cool fucking shield options out there. Bolter weaponry. Bolt pistols, bolters, and heavy bolters among the Knights of Slaughter is treated as sacred ordnance. Each bolter etched with oaths, kill marks, and names of the fallen foes. Each round fired is considered a ritual act. Its detonation a declaration of honor. Before the final charge is joined. Though blade and chain earn the greatest glory, the bolter ensures the enemy is already bleeding when the knights arrive. Right bolts. Runed and sanctified, these bolts are more than mere ammunition. They are instruments of ritualized death. Each strike counts as a concentrated kill, binding the shooter to sacred oaths and blood and vengeance. And then they have Spartan assault tanks. And they are armored fortresses on tracks, bristling with weapons and heraldic insignias. They shrug off attacks that would fell lesser vehicles, crushing fortifications and enemies beneath their treads. These war engines deliver their cargo of blade and bolter berserkers into the heart of slaughter. And the Land Raider carrier. The Land Raider Carrier are brutal utilitarian war carriages. They're boxy hulls layered in sacred ceramite and defaced with rune oaths and kill tallies, and battered heraldry. Though lacking the overall presence of a Spartan assault tank, the Land Raider Carrier are prized for their speed and reliability, bearing packs of berserker knights directly into the press of battle. Yeah, I decided to go with the Land Raiders Carriers and the Spartan assault tanks, which are like 30k vehicles, just for scaling purposes. Like, this is a Primaris army, so slapping them next to a Rhino transport just seems so, like, the scale's off. It seems weird. So I upped the scale to, you know, have some more relics of war like that.
Okay. A couple questions I had. So in your, like, in your mind, so when it says like their bolt ammunition has the carved names of fallen foes, is that like carving the names of people you've killed into it to then kill the next people, or is it like carving the names of the people you're going to kill, like the people you want to challenge, into your bolt ammunition?
Yeah, like I could imagine, like at the beginning of battle, you challenge like the enemy warlord, and you're like, you know, you're talking to him and you're calling him out, and he might, I'm this guy of this, I'm Gerald of the 97th Brigade. And then the guy's like carving Gerald on his shell, and he's like, I'm going to save this one for that guy. I definitely see that happening where, like, if you know an enemy champion's name, you're saving a bolt with their name on it. And that's part of the skill of it, too, where it's like, I'm not using this until I find you. Until then, I'm just going to beat people with my fists and my chainsword.
Yeah, like you're going into battle, you know the name of some of the high-ranking people, so you're going to carve their names into your, you know, into your shells. And then, like, also randomly popped in my head, like, what happens if two people try to challenge the same enemy? Do they then have to duel for the right to challenge somebody?
I would imagine it goes to like the highest rank, or like maybe whoever gets there first. Like, once the duel is started, there's no kill stealing. You know, you don't want to interrupt duels and stuff, but like to race to get there first, like that's kind of a cool challenge as well.
That's just part of the whole like ritual of the challenges. I got there first, so I get to. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We're challenging this person at the same time. Well, we must settle this like men. Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, chain blade.
To the death.
All right. So onto their relics and artifacts. The standard slaughter. A massive banner soaked in the blood of fallen champions, etched with runes and heraldry that record the warband's greatest duels. Carried by an 8-fold oathbound, the ancient of the Crimson Tally, its presence inspires fury and ritual precision among the knights while striking terror into foes who see the banner bearers advancing. The Crimson Chain Gauntlet. The oath of the Crimson Gauntlet is a relic of binding rather than blessing. Its chain-wrapped plates crusted with the dried blood of champions who proved their worth through victory. To swear upon it is to have one's deeds witnessed by the warband and by Khorne alike, for the 8 codes spoken before it are believed to echo into every duel and massacre that follows. A knight who breaks an oath sworn on the gauntlet is marked for ritual execution, their blood added to its stain so their failure may serve as a warning and witness. That's very cool. Is that gauntlet itself, like, have you thought of any history? I can't remember of where the gauntlet comes from. Like, was it one like the original like Slaughter Lord or whatever, like the captain of the warbands was, or like something that was maybe like the only gift of Khorne they ever accepted was this gauntlet to swear oaths on or something?
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, I never really thought where it came from, and I was almost thinking, like, are there multiple ones of these? So, like, you know, kind of different branches of the warband can swear on it. Is the warband always 100% together? I didn't know that answer necessarily, or do they kind of scatter out and you might find different like war squads joining different? I don't know. I like to think probably that they all stay together. There probably is only one specific gauntlet that they swear on. They're very like unified, so to break up seems kind of like disservice almost.
That's what I was thinking. Like the way it's been reading is, yeah, like they always field together as like the 88 knights functionally, and so yeah, they'd have the singular sacred gauntlet.
Yeah.
All right,
But
so,
we need to know who it came from eventually. So yeah, I'll keep that in the back of my mind.
Yeah, it's like there could be some cool extra history for the warband.
Yeah.
All right, so the Oath Vow Chalice, a ceremonial goblet filled with blood from both defeated enemies and oath-bound rituals used by the warband before campaigns and duels. Drinking from the chalice binds the knights to their codes and litanies, consecrating each kill as an offering to Khorne and reaffirming the sanctity of their martial oaths. I can only assume that the Oath Vow Chalice is made from a skull.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting like Corbelalos, I forget his name, of the Blood Angels, where he's got that sweet fucking skull chalice.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And then finally, the Skull Hearth of Khorne, a massive ceremonial brazier built from the fused skulls of the champions defeated in formal duels, used during pre-battle ritual or pre-battle rites to sanctify the warband's fury. Flames from the Skull Hearth are fed with blood and oil before campaigns, and it is said that demons bound in chain blades or machines briefly howl when its fires are lit, acknowledging the warband's mastery over the warp. That's very cool. But yeah, they do these rituals, and yeah, like those bound demons that we talked about before just like start to go crazy.
Yeah, bloodlust and yeah.
Very nice. And then we have their fleet and their war engines. The fleet of the Knights of Slaughter is small but brutally effective, built for direct assault rather than prolonged void engagements. At its core is a single ancient battle barge, its hull layered with heraldic markings and kill tallies etched in brass and bone, serving as both flagship and mobile reliquary of the warband's oaths. A handful of escort vessels and strike cruisers accompany it, used primarily to deliver the knights directly into the heart of battle or to enforce ritual boarding actions where formal challenges can be issued even in the void. To the knights, fleet warfare is merely the prelude to slaughter. Their ships exist to bring blade, chain, bolt, and challenge to the enemy as swiftly as possible. The warband's war engines reflect this same philosophy as relentless advance and ritualized violence. Land Raider carriers and Spartan assault tanks form the backbone of their mechanized assaults, bearing squads in close range before disgorging them in disciplined formations to issue formal duels. Alongside these armored columns thunder the warband's most revered engines, Juggernauts of Khorne. Some bound through ritual domination rather than summoning, ridden by World Crusher Knights in the thickest fighting. These engines are not treated as mere machine beasts, but as oath-bound instruments of war, maintained through blood rites and battlefield offerings to ensure they carry their riders unflinchingly toward honor, slaughter, and skull-taking.
Yeah, so very much like they all have their steeds and they treat them well, and without them, they kind of they know their place of their vehicles. They need their vehicles to get in close, so they like it. They're definitely that mechanized list.
I like it.
We'll get into the known members. So we start with Slaughter Lord Varak. Varak is the current Slaughter Lord of the Knights of Slaughter. His rules carved from a trail of challengers slain in ritual combat. Each chain hanging from his crown bears the skull mark of a rival who believed themselves worthy to command. He does not rule from strategy chambers, but from the front line, where his authority is renewed with every victory. None follow Varak out of loyalty, only certainty that he cannot be overthrown. The next one here is Red Marshal Cardoon. Cardoon serves as the Red Marshal, his voice carrying battle litanies that cut through bolter fire and screaming engines alike. He remembers every oath ever sworn before him, and every knight knows he will be called to account. Cardoon's armor is etched with scripture in dried blood, refreshed before every campaign. When he chants, the warband does not charge, they advance in ritual. The next is the Blade of Khorne, or the Nameless Eighth, a warrior who surrendered identity, heraldry, and even voice upon ascension. No one remembers who he was before Khorne claimed him, and asking is considered an ill omen. He appears only at the bloodiest point of battle, where resistance is strongest and slaughter most pleasing. When the blade falls, the warband will not mourn, another will rise, and the name will remain empty. That's kind of a cool position.
Yeah.
Kind of unique. I like it. Ancient of the Crimson Tally, Ser Balrek. Ser Balrek is the Ancient of the Crimson Tally, having borne arms since the days of the warband still fought beside the Dark Angels. His banner is stitched with victories older than most imperial records. Its fabric remained repaired countless times, but never replaced. Balrek does not shout commands. His presence alone reminds the knights what they once were, and what they chose to become. To earn a mark beneath his banner is to stand shoulder to shoulder with history itself.
Yeah, cool. 4 pretty simple characters. They're all going to be part of the Eightfold, Oathbound, chaplains, chapter champions, banner or chapter ancients, those kind of things.
Yeah. I like the Blade of Khorne with the idea that no one remembers who he was before Khorne claimed him, and when the blade falls in battle, a new one is made, and in my mind, then everybody forgets who that guy was. So it's like he dies, and the guy next to you, Jimmy, becomes the new Blade of Khorne. You forget who Jimmy was. It's always been the Blade of Khorne.
Yeah, exactly. It's not so much like the Emperor's Champion, where it's like a title that you pick up and carry your name, and you put down that title potentially at the end of battle, give it to somebody else. Ultimately, why are they doing all this? They're religious fanatics for Khorne. So carrying honor and glory for yourself takes it away from Khorne. So this guy is really just that reminder that this is all for Khorne.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll dive into the known battles, or some of them. These are kind of like the defining eras or incidents. The first one is the Orcish Crucible. During the Great Crusade, the Knights of Slaughter fought alongside the Dark Angels on the planet Garkmar, where a massive orc wog had overrun the surface. The Knights distinguished themselves by issuing formal duels between warboss after warboss, orchestrating a chain of single combats that tore the greenskin leadership apart while leaving the masses in disarray. With every challenge met in ritual honor, the Knights turned what could have been a chaotic slaughter into a disciplined campaign of precision carnage, accumulating in the battlefield littered with skulls, shattered armor, and the first recorded heraldic markings of the warband's triumphs. So yeah, this is kind of this is where they really distinguish themselves. And I like this thought of orcs challenges and hey, oh, you bigger and badder than me? Let's find out. They're all for that. So you could just start calling out orc after orc, and they just line up, and you're just ritually dueling these orcs over and over until all of them are dead. And that's kind of how they earn their first renown. The Red Scouring. It is the name the Knights of Slaughter give to the unbroken legacy of war, stretching from the dying days of the Horus Heresy through the Great Crusade, or through the Great Scouring, and into the endless slaughter of the Long War. It is remembered not as a retreat or defeat, but as a rolling purge of blood and fire, where loyalty shattered and brother fought brother across 1,000 burning worlds. To the Knights, every campaign since has been merely another phase of the Red Scouring, a continuation of that first galaxy-spanning reckoning begun when honor was measured in victory alone. The Black Crusades. The Knights of Slaughter have sworn themselves to every Black Crusade called by Abaddon the Despoiler, answering his summons not out of loyalty to his crown, but out of the shared hatred for the shame of Terra Unavenged. To them, the Siege of Terra stands out as the only true stain upon the honor of their legion, a failure not of strength, but of final will, and each crusade is seen as another chance to repay that debt in blood. When the despoiler calls, the knights ride out without hesitation, believing that to refuse the long war is to accept dishonor equal to defeat. Win or lose, they fight so that when terror finally burns, none may say the Knights of Slaughter were absent from the reckoning. And then, the returns of Angron. Whenever Angron manifests in the material realm, the Knights of Slaughter take it as a summons older and truer than any signal, flare, or war cant. To them, the Red Angel is not merely a demon Primarch, but the living proof of wrath unbound and honor cast aside in pursuit of perfect slaughter. As the first signs of his arrival, worlds breaking, skies bleeding, chains of reality snapping, the knights arm themselves and ride to war, believing that the fight in Angron's shadow is to be judged directly by Khorne himself. They do not seek command or recognition in these wars. It is enough to spill blood alongside the incarnation of rage, adding to their deeds to the endless tally of the blood god's favor. Yeah, at one point we read Angron had like 50,000 world eaters on one of his rampages. So, you know, these guys are showing up in those numbers. Anytime Angron's around, they are showing up.
One thing I was thinking, like going over this section that popped into my head, like in the Black Crusade section, because obviously, you know, in the Black Crusades, it's, you know, the push and pull and, you know, chaos will retreat. So like what would it take in your mind, Mark, for them to retreat? Like is it just if a fight seems unwinnable, and there's like no point to it?
Yeah, that's a good question, because like you should like meet any challenge, and if it's an unwillable challenge, you would still want to meet it, because to not meet it would be a dishonor. But then like that's no way to survive or win. So like, yeah, what is like their breaking point? Like maybe it's like, okay, we started this campaign with 160 guys and we lost down to 88. We only got 88 blades. Now we pull out. Like, this is where our honor is. We can never be lower than 88 blades. And then that way, maybe it's like in retaining this honor over here of 88 blades, you can ignore the shame of like defeat or withdrawal or something like that, where it's like, well, no, our first oath is not to get destroyed.
Yeah. Well, and like you could, I think you could also go the route of like an unwinnable battle, because you want to meet a challenge, but I could see them feeling that like to needlessly put yourself, you know, to needlessly walk into a certain death isn't an honorable death necessarily. Like if you're gonna go like one, like, you know, one of these guys versus 1,000 Space Marines, it's a pointless death. And I feel like to them, Khorne would not want to put, it's not the best death you could give Khorne. So why would you go out that way?
Yeah, maybe that's a fun way to look at it too. Like in death, how do you give Khorne that death so it's still worthy of being remembered by him? So yeah, like you said, that's a good way to look at it too. I like that. And yeah, it just allows for that little bit of like, how are they surviving? How are they managing all this? But yeah, you put a couple little grounding rules in there. It really helps.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want them fighting to the last man at all times, because that, again, like just seems silly.
Yeah. So yeah, I think with those two kind of little rules, you know, no fewer than 88 blades, and you know, you still want good death. So you don't want to die in a fucking siege warfare where you're just in a trench. Like, that's not a good death for them.
Yeah. All right. Let's start the conversion corner. So the core concept behind building the Knights of Slaughter is to start with Black Templar torsos, legs, and arms. And this is a great portion for me to plug again. Joining the Patreon, you can get on the live streams and see these pictures that Mark's putting up as examples for these bits, you know, for these pieces and these models. So Black Templar torsos, legs, and arms is the foundation, preserving their knightly silhouettes and crusader aesthetic. Then corrupt and brutalize them with Khorne berserker heads, weapons, backpacks, and accessories. This fusion creates a force that still looks like fallen knights rather than feral berserkers, disciplined in form but murderous in purpose. Within the range, sworn brethren naturally translate into the elite eightfold oathbound. Crusaders form the bulk of the blood knights, and neophytes become gore squires, visually reinforcing rank status and the bloody path of ascension within the warband.
Yeah. it's such a fucking cool look. I built one of these guys, and like the tabards and the cape, and like even the way the Black Templar on their knee joints on the side of it, they have like a little protector piece. I'm not totally sure what it's called. If you can see right here, it's this little nub here, but it just protects a little joint, and like it's on knightly armor often. Yeah, it's just these guys are the perfect knightly vibe. And then, like I said, you slap on the heads and chain weapons, and it turns them into those berserkers.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go look up what that piece of armor is, because I'm used to seeing it on the outside of like elbow cops for armor.
Yeah.
Those are called Paulines, but I don't know if it's the same thing for knees.
Okay, I could see it being just the same name, because it's a knee Pauline.
Knee Pauline, yeah. And then they have like some studs and stuff that adds to that knightly look. I do have one kit bash. So this guy on the left is an AI painted version of the guy on the right, which is a real model that I was showing earlier. So that's kind of like how that guy looks. He looks fucking tight with his Khorne bloodletter sword. This guy would be the blade of Khorne. I even took like old school World Eater bits. Like this helmet here is from the old box set, that classic T visor, like so iconic. So I slapped on like a bunch of the old backpack just to kind of make this guy even more unique.
That looks so fucking good. Like that kind of helmet too is my favorite style of like medieval helmet, like that bar boot style.
Yeah. So fucking good. I would equip them all with it if I could, but like there's just no way to find 88 of those motherfuckers. Maybe actually with 3D printing it wouldn't be.
I was about to say, I bet you could pay someone to 3D print them for you.
Oh, okay.
As I say, Gerald. Yeah. Not that Gerald has a 3D printer or anything, but he's right there.
I got to do the brush goes ever on, or who did we have on with Court and Logan the other day? There, he's.
Oh yeah. I forget what his
Fuck. Sorry, Chris. I forgot your shop's name. That's my bad. Now I feel like I gotta look that up for him.
You gotta plug, yeah.
You gotta reclaim that honor.
Gerald, how many of these helmets do you think you could put on a print bed?
Shoot.
A lot.
Maybe a lot, like maybe 40 or 50.
Okay.
Well,
maybe a little bit less because you got to account for like the sprues or the supports and like the support base, but you can put quite a bit on one print bed.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool, but I'm okay with all the custom helmets too, where they get just random Khorne Berserker ones and save some of those special favorite ones. That guy, Chris's 3D print shop is called The Belly of the Brush, and he can be found on Instagram and stuff like that. So if you have 3D printing stuff, go check out his stuff and he'll help you out. I'm definitely going to be using them for this project for sure. All right, let's dive into how to actually make these guys. We got two low sections, just kind of what the conversions are, and then a buy list. So if you want to collect these guys, you can collect your own way. So we'll start with the Lord of Slaughter. He's going to be Belial from the Dark Angels, and he's the only Dark Angels model. Maybe let's pull up a picture of Belial so you can see why I chose him. And he will just have a great sword and like a storm bolter. But I'll probably buy like a old school Warhammer Fantasy great sword where it's like almost like a demon weapon. But here's Belial. He's got that very knightly. He's got the cape over the shoulder. He's got the tabard, so he's gonna fit in perfectly with like sword brethren and that kind of stuff. You know, you shave off the odd iconography. But.
Yeah, almost angelic looking.
Yeah, the Termi armor is just peak.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I've got a box of Dark Angels Terminators. I forgot what it's called. They have like Deathwing like Attack Squad or something like that. Yeah. And I was thinking about that too, with all like the tabards and capes would be really neat to use for these guys.
Yeah, I was like thinking about this army, and do I include Terminators in it? And ultimately, I decided not. There's only this one Terminator, and he's the Lord of Slaughter. Yeah, I don't know. I just decided against it for some reason. It just happened. Maybe one day I'll collect more, but whatever. Yeah,
I could see for these guys that either just the Lord of Slaughter, or if you did more, only if you were part of the Eightfold would you get the Terminator armor.
Yeah. And maybe there'd be something like that down the line. But yeah, so you start off with Belial, and then we go to the Red Marshal. This guy is going to be the excoriator. Let's just pull up this image here, Templar, and then we can scroll through. So this is the excoriator. This guy right here, he's basically a chaplain.
Okay.
He's got all the same pieces, those knees, papalabliars, or whatever you fucking call them. He's got like a tabard, and yeah, he's going to make a good commander. Then we go to the Blade of Khorne. As you've seen, he's just like your standard Crusader squad sword brethren guy, that running pose guy, and then you convert him up. Then we got the Ancient of the Crimson Tally. So he's going to be the sword brethren guy with a fancy cape or fancy belt. There's a couple sword brethren that have like, he's this guy right here. He's got a fancier belt, and then I'll slap on the banner, ancient banner, and all that kind of stuff. This banner guy here. Then you can go to the Oathbound. They're just sword brethren. They're going to have power weapons and bolt pistols. There will be a heavy bolter guy in there too. No big deal. The World Crusher Knights. These are the Juggernaut riders. Honestly, I don't have a good way to do them. There's only one model, one World Eater on a Juggernaut. But the problem is he's not a Black Templar, so he doesn't fit. He wouldn't fit anyone else. So I'd have to figure out a way to put a Black Templar on a Juggernaut, and that just seems like, holy fuck, to make 8 of those bad boys. Maybe I make 4 of them, but
would it be possible to take like a Dark Angel's Ravenwing rider and then just slap him on a Juggernaut, or would that posing not work?
The amazing thing about the Black Templar Primaris guys is their armor is all the exact same, where it's like their arms have a slit on them and it's studded out, and their knee pads have the same studs. It's all very uniform, and like, so to change it to Dark Angels, then he would then be that one-off guy that technically doesn't have the same flair. Now I switched the Dark Angel Terminator guy because like he's like in Terminator armor, so you can get away with a little bit of that power armor variance because it's not power armor. But you know, I'll think of how to do them. They'll happen one day, but they're not like my first buy. Then you got Blade Knights, and these are just sword brethrens and crusaders, and they're gonna have just your standard chain sword and storm shield. I got this storm shield here that I will be 3D printing. Let's pull it up. Just a disc shield with like, apparently that's a chainsaw around the outside of it. I don't know what the
cool.
Yeah, I don't know what the inside of that looks like, if it actually is, or if it's more just like jagged blades. But either way, as much of a weapon as it is a fucking defensive object.
It kind of makes me think of that shield you get from Doom the Dark Ages, because it serves the same function.
Yeah, exactly like that. So yeah, the Blood Knights will have chain swords and shields. So you get these cool tight formations of like knights shield to shield. Bolter Knights, you got a sword brethren leading them, and you got more, you know, just standard Crusaders. The Crusaders, they have this half tabard on them, so you kind of lose more cloth, as I was talking about, as you go down the ranks.
I'm looking through the Black Templars list right now, but they don't seem to have any kind of dedicated like mounted Space Marine option for their line. So you're probably hard pressed to, unless you just really know how to like to take them apart and like reposition them in the way that they ride a Juggernaut.
Yeah, like I'm sure it's possible, but like
it sounds like a pain in the butt.
Yeah, exactly. Like it will happen, like I said, but it will happen after I kind of collect the main force. Then we go to the Gore Knights. It's pretty straightforward. That's just going to be Black Templar neophytes. You know, 4 will have bolters, 4 will have chainswords, bolt pistols. Then we got a couple Spartan assault tanks and 2 Land Raider carriers, and those are kind of the conversions. You slap on some fucking World Eater doors on those Land Raiders, and you're good to go. Some spikes, no big deal. So all said and done, I think that comes out to 32 guys or 4 squads of 8, and then a couple vehicles. The one little small detail that will be fun is the Spartan assault tank will have the 8-bound Oathfold in it, and then they will also have the 8 Gore Squires in it. And it's like the concept is they ride with the 8-bound, and like this is their first battle. They have to prove themselves in like this thick fighting in front of the best people of the chapter, and then maybe they will get to advance if they survive that battle type thing. Yeah. So that's kind of the conversion's pretty simple. Like I said, you just take Black Templar torsos and just start slapping on World Eater bits.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that bad, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other than for the buying 2 boxes to build 1 squad, you're up doubling your price. Not too bad.
But it's from like I guess like a technical standpoint. Yeah, it seems pretty kit bash like noob friendly if you're looking at doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the chain swords, to swap out a Black Templar chain sword with a World Eater one, like you just cut right at the hilt, slap it down, and you can keep all the chains wrapped around the wrist and all that from the Templars. So yeah.
Very much so. But let's I guess we should probably bring up the next important part about this is the price.
Yeah,
So,
if you want to
So all these, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but all these are listed in Canadian dollars, correct?
Yeah. And we maybe
All
don't
right.
have to go through all of them. I don't know. Like you don't have to give individual prices. We'll just kind of do the essential and the total price.
Okay. And then I got an app that converts Canadian dollars to burger bucks. So for all you
I do.
American listeners out there.
I just pulled one up too, so as you put it out, I'll tell people what it is in USD.
Okay. So we have Belial. Okay, so for like the essentials, we have Belial, the Execrator, the Ancient Sword Brethren, 2 Crusader squads, and then 3. I'm guessing that's 3 squads of Khorne berserkers, and then shields for the World Eaters. That totals out to 661 Canadian dollars. Which, Jordan, what do you have for your app?
485 USD.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
what I got too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the one group.
That's the essential buy. That's going to get you your 32 guys in like a nice thematic army. I don't know how many points that is at this point in my life. I don't give a shit, but it's going to look like it's a nice full, like logical looking army.
The
If you
drip
think
is
we
better
paid
than the point value.
If
Yes,
you
sir.
really pay attention to points in this show, you are sadly mistaken.
Yeah. Like people thought I played by mark rules before. Now I'm playing like, fuck, there's no rules. That's the one fun thing about like nowadays with my hobbying is like I don't desire to play tabletop anymore. Like I would love to, but like I'm not building armies, so I can definitely do wild conversions and build units that don't exist and all that kind of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So some of the optional stuff is you have a Land Raider with World Eater doors. You got Land Raider carriers, also with World Eater doors. So that part puts you at 548 Canadian dollars,
Which is 402 USD.
Yep.
Yeah, the fucking Spartan assault tanks and the Land Raiders are expensive, and this is why this is an optional part. Like, I think you need it eventually, but it's not part of the first buy.
So adding all that together, you get 1,206 Canadian dollars, which is
885 roughly USD.
ooh, that's kind of that's.
So
that,
if you want to join the Patreon and help me build this army, throw me some. You can only throw me denominations of $8 though, but you have to do it. It's non-negotiable.
you were $3 American short of it being triple eights.
Oh god damn! I can fudge a number. I don't mind.
All right.
All right, so we do have the one conditional part which is the Kaiten Demon Engine, and that puts you to a grand total of 1,446 Canadian bucks, which is
1,061 USD.
there we go. So that funny Khorne number, only if you count that Demon Engine.
Yeah, that Demon Engine, it's like if you've done all that, you've collected your Juggernauts, you've collected your tanks, and you still have more knightly shit, get this giant guy, replace his axe with a cool sword from somewhere, maybe give him a shield or something, and you get one really big kind of centerpiece model then that's a little bad boy shorty for sure.
Ooh, I like
That looks very, very cool.
Yeah. It's like a conversion of the Lord of Skulls, where it's like that torso, but instead of mounted on like a tank, it's mounted on legs.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll pull up the Lord of Skulls. So, as you can see, this is like the Lord of Skulls. So, same torso, same weapons, but the legs are on this fucking weird tank.
Okay.
So strange. And yeah, that's it. Like I said, the Juggernauts, they're not in this little buy list, so they would be a little bit more. But like, I just don't know how you'd go about doing them, because you'd want them to not just be your standard Primaris Crusader squads. You'd want them to be based off the Sword Brethren, so you get the tabard and the cape. But now you're trying to get tabards and capes on rhinos. Like, holy shit, you're in for a nightmare.
I mean, if you're good enough at the modeling, could you do like the bike squads, like the Raven Wing attack squads, but like green stuff, the capes, and you can even like green stuff, little dots for studs, I guess, if you wanted to. But yeah,
you'd have to be pretty good. I'm not that level of like, maybe if I was doing them, but then as soon as I would put them into the army beside anyone else, you'd be like, oh shit, like, I see what you were trying there. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
You're cute. Yeah.
Just actually sew little cloth tabards to put on your plastic guys.
Yeah. Now, in the world we live in now, there's so many third-party and 3D bits that, like, you can buy tabards and you can buy capes and you can do all that. But then all of a sudden it's like you're stacking those dollars up for, like, a crazy conversion. So it's kind of the very last, like, thing you do, if you ever even feel like you can.
And this is also assuming like you buy everything at retail value, correct?
Which I would never fucking do. I'm not a fool. I'll drop hundreds of dollars on Warhammer, but not thousands.
Yeah. So don't actually buy these at retail value if you can help it.
Yeah, and especially like, since this wouldn't be like necessarily a tabletop army, this would be a great thing to get like recasts of, which is usually about half retail.
Yeah, exactly. Tons of Russian and Chinese recasters, and I definitely have my guy that I always use. Ever since 8th edition, when GW tore my world apart with Primaris Marines, I said, fuck you, you're not getting any more of my money. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm up to. You know, this has been consuming my thoughts for weeks now. World Eaters, Angrons, and the Knights of Slaughter. Like I said, I built one guy. Come join the Discord. I will be painting him shortly. I got one more night of bits to put on him. Like, I want to put a bunch of those pyramid studs on his legs just to make it a little more aggressive. And then I could probably slap some paint on him. So yeah, that's the Knights of Slaughter. If you want to join the army, we can collect all 88 blades. You know, we could do it. Just send me $8 and I'll do it for you, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, what a fun episode. I love all the artwork. AI is crazy nowadays, what you can do. For a lot of my artwork, if you're wondering, I basically took an existing piece of artwork like this. World Eaters. Berserkers. Art. Okay, I can't find the classic one right away, but maybe we'll do this as a search. Khorne, Berserkers. Well, here's one that you've definitely seen a conversion. So basically, I would just take that and then I put in my description paragraph, like, can you recolor this to that? And then it'd pump out that sweet artwork for me. So AI is pretty wild. There's another one that you definitely seen, the guy kind of sitting with his sword. Very easy to do. And nowadays you can get like your own cool fucking artwork, which is sweet. Cause like, it really almost makes me want to make some type of actual printable codex. Like, you can actually do that now, where before, like, to hire an artist to do that shit, like, it's not happening. Not when I need to buy models, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had for you guys. Thanks for indulging me. My wife thanks you as well. Hopefully that will keep me off her mind and whatever. Fuck, I'm just going to scroll World Eaters now for the rest of the night.
So now they've gotten this out talking to us, you don't have to ramble on to her throughout the day about it.
Yeah. Oh, she thanks you. You've done a great service for her. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's do some end of the show notes. Hey, come join Lorehammer Listener Lore podcast. Yeah, you can write your own homebrew lore and we'll get around to reading it. I stack up the emails. Eventually I'll do some.
Absolutely. And don't forget to check out the Star Lords podcast, where Christian and I discuss all the good lore of the Star Wars expanded universe.
Very excellent. And when you're done listening to Lorehammer and Star Lords, you can come over to the Grimlore podcast and listen to us talk about Warhammer Fantasy, Age of Sigmar, and whatever grim and or dark stories that we feel like talking about. You can actually, I want to correct a wrong that I did in my last episode. I forgot to mention Fuzz is actually a guest on there as well. So if you want to hear, if you want to hear us chat and whatnot, it's a fun time.
Yeah, I need to get back on there. As someone who listens to both of those other podcasts, they're both wonderful, and you should listen to them as well. But as for myself, I am an amateur hobbyist blacksmith, and I've got my stuff online, different places on Instagram, Facebook, a few YouTube videos, which it's been very, very cold, but I've got an idea for what I want to do for Valentine's Day. But if you want to check out any of my blacksmithing shenanigans, just look for Stout Hammer Forge on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube.
Yeah, very cool. Making your lady something special for Valentine's Day, hey? Nice cock ring, or what are we doing here?
Not one of those, no. I don't have any tools small enough to make something like that. But, hey! No,
Okay.
I'm gonna try my first.
I don't have it big
doing
enough.
I'm gonna try my first attempt at doing a forged flower, like a forged rose. There's a method to do them all out of one piece of metal, and then I want to do a little hairpin that's got like a heart chiseled out in the end of it.
Fucking tight. Very cool.
So, yeah,
That sounds much better when I just hand my wife just like painted Warhammer minis. Like, this one's for you. I love you. Look,
it's the epitome of it's the thought that counts, right?
Yeah. Or ignorance is bliss. One of the two. Pretty ignorant thing to do. Anyways, that's this episode. Thanks everyone for listening to Lorehammer. We have one bonus episode after this. Me and Logan and Gerald did a cryptid episode long ago, and it's finally getting released. So that's going to come up shortly.
Oh, nice.
And
What?
yeah, and then we're
Is that
diving
telling
back.
me?
There will be many, Jordan. Don't you worry. Yeah, I think you were sick
Sons
that
of
one
bitches.
day. Yeah. But then we're diving back into the Astartes Armory. So, yeah, always more Lorehammer content to come. See you guys all in the next episode.
So, yeah.
See ya.